Founder of LifterLMS, a learning management system for WordPress, among other companies, Chris Badgett is a serial entrepreneur that notes that he started learning about online education on a glacier in Alaska and learned about WordPress by watching YouTube videos so he could build a blog about outdoor leadership. Thank you so much for joining me today.
I'm happy to be here, Malcolm.
Can you tell me a little bit about why you started LifterLMS?
It's really a long story, but I'm a course creator myself, and one of my unique values in the world is that I can look around, and when I look at people, I see all this value trapped inside of people that's trying to get out. And I wanted to figure out a way to help people kind of share their value with others and also build a real business around that, and which also creates freedom in their lives and location and creative freedom and all this. But when I left Alaska, the quick story is I started freelancing with WordPress, building websites for people, then built my own agency, then merged my agency with another agency, and then through the profits out of our agency, we bootstrapped the product, Lift LMS, which is we're all product company today.
What has been the most surprising thing about building Lift LMS as a company?
I underestimated the impact, some of the success that people would have. I know people who use our product who, in short amount of time, built six-figure businesses.
Mm-hmm.
Or, which I knew, that's what I wanted to have happen, but then it actually started happening. So that's one thing. Another thing is, because we're so invested in community, we have a thriving Facebook group, thriving Slack channel, but I do these weekly office hours mastermind calls with our top customers who have what's called the Infinity Bundle. And there have been people in there who have become business partners with each other, and other collaborations and companies have been started, that it just further validates. I did not realize, or I should say it's a surprise, how impactful community has been on not just product development and feature road mapping and product road mapping, but also developing an ecosystem of community and relationships that turned into all these other businesses. And it's just really fascinating to me, just the people side of software, when you make the space and hold the container for that to happen.
If you could send back in time one piece of advice to your younger self before starting LifterLMS, before closing down your agency, what would that piece of advice be and why?
One of the things that caused us to grow the most was to get out a little bit. I come from a remote background, remote, Alaska, remote lives in the country, remote lives on the farm.
Right.
But when I was already very far into my journey with WordPress around 2013 when I went to my first community event. And then later I've ended up sponsoring some WordCamps and going to some other WordPress events and things. But really getting out and finding this other tribe of people, of WordPress, entrepreneurs, developers, marketers, agency owners, product people, enthusiasts, all this stuff. I wish I had done that a little sooner, because it fuels your growth. It goes back to those relationships things and letting ideas mingle. And my biggest piece of advice would be there's a lot you have to do alone, don't get me wrong, but it's important to invest some time. There's a whole community there. That's one of the things that makes WordPress great. And really, even if you're not in WordPress, makes entrepreneurship great, because it is a lonely venture. And when you connect with others, you don't have to have entrepreneurs, in your family or in your immediate friend circle, but there is a place for some social support there that I wish I had done earlier.
For sure. And that leads me into really my last question. You spend a fair bit of time creating content with LMS Cast and the other things that you do, and appearing on shows like this. Can you tell me a little bit about why you take that time? For me, it feels like a lot of companies, as they grow, that kind of responsibility gets pushed down to kind of the marketing person or the junior person, and it's very, very rare that an executive takes that kind of time. I see at least an hour plus of video podcasting on your site every week for years. So that's some dedication.
Yeah, I'll take it back to the management theorist in the 1970s named Peter Drucker. He wrote a book called The Effective Executive, and he said that in business there's really only two things. There's marketing and innovation, and you should divide your time half between those. I have a business partner. So this is what I would also tell a younger version of myself, is to partner. So I spend a lot of time marketing. My business partner spends a lot of time writing code. And we have people that support us in our different roles, and that's why I'm able to produce so much content. You know, the most important thing in sales is you have to do, in my opinion, spread yourself across 3 areas, which is inbound marketing, which is content marketing, outbound, which is going out, knowing who you serve, and like not in an annoying way, but making your offer known. And then the third is developing relationships, which is a much slower, long-term approach. So for me, my superpower as a marketer is on the inbound marketing, content marketing. I attract leads, you know, through content. So that's what, no leads, no business. So that's why I spend a lot of time there. And I also just happen to enjoy making videos, writing, and connecting with other great people like yourself.